Good morning, collective. Welcome to my channel. Welcome to Enlightened Hearts. I'm Naoma. I have a very important message today for the indigos, the Blu-rays, and the hybrids thereof. We are the chosen, the 144,000. And we are being called into a submission, meaning a mission aside from the other mission. We have a very important job to do right now. Many of us are the parents of crystal and rainbow children. These kids are in school and they are learning a 3D way of handling their emotions, and that's just not going to do in the age of Aquarius. Because let's face it, by the time the age of Aquarius begins to kick off for real, these children will be the ones that are in the technology fields, the developing of new things. They're going to be the new therapists. They're going to be, they'll be in the workforce, full force, when we start seeing the actual change from the age of Aquarius. We have got to teach these kids now a different way of handling life. That's not the pre-programmed way. This generation of children growing up, they're growing up listening to a narrative that really has them believing that it doesn't matter what they do because the world's going to be over. Just dangerous for normal humans, the ones that we're supposed to be waking up. It's dangerous for them, but it's even worse for kids that are born already connected, already tapped in. So I would like to ask why I'm getting this message. What is happening? I'm hearing, and it's true, that COVID really affected our kids. The isolation, and it's breeding more isolation. All right, Spirit. What do the chosen need to know about their kids right now? Okay, hold on. They want me to get a different deck. All right. They wanted me to get the Wild Unknown archetype deck out. The Unseen. And the Bridge. All right, the Unseen. This card says the spirit, the ancestor, the eternal. The unseen is just as it sounds. We cannot see it, yet it sees you, watching and waiting with wisdom, both kind and instructive. We feel the presence, sense it, into it, and then doubt it, though it rallies our attention time and time again. The energy of the unseen may come in many forms: a compelling dream, a sudden insight, a clear voice, a vision, or message from a loved one who has passed to the other side. It is natural to fear these communications as they challenge our perception of what is real. When this card appears, your guides are near. The eternal is present. The doorway between worlds is ajar. Listen. Okay, so the other card that came out is the bridge. What number are you? 30, 38. The connection, the link, the gate. Bridges are built to connect two worlds. They create flow, allowing us to travel between realms, ideologies, personalities. This archetype is the gesture of acceptance, of saying yes, rather than withdrawing, separating, and saying no. When we cross a bridge into an unknown land, we are led magically into a new reality. Okay, our kids are literally bridges to the unseen. We have to do something now in order to not burn that bridge. When we were children, we had the trauma. We had the trauma, the actual trauma, but we also had the things that wouldn't be traumatic to adults trauma. The emotional trauma that just comes with being a teenager. Dumb shit. That dumb shit is what's the fire that burns those bridges. That's why we shut ourselves off, and now all of a sudden we're 42 years old and we're having to relearn how to connect. We don't want that to happen to our kids. Our children need to, I mean, yes, we're providing a safe space for them, but are we providing an emotionally safe space for them? That's what this mission is all about, creating an emotionally safe space for our children, teaching them how to mature emotionally, not just physically. Sorry. Okay. What else, Spirit, can we tell the collective? Thank you. Oh, we have some feline energy out here right now. Cause and effect. The effect of not preparing our kids to balance their emotions. The effect of that is more drug addiction, more homelessness, more radical rebellion in a very negative way. we have to recognize that they're, come on. Let's see if that's better. Oh, there we go. Okay. This is the card. What was I saying? Their third eyes. You know, a lot of them are still under the age of 18, and they're still, even 16, okay? Their intuition is developing and growing. At some point, the hormones in their body are going to change, and if we're not prepared for that onslaught of bipolar teenage craziness, if we're not prepared to handle that, we hold the potential to close off their third eyes for a time. This advice from a cat is an interesting card here. And a king bee. This card is all about standing in your sovereignty. Oh, and teaching them who they are and how to stand in their sovereignty, how to create better boundaries for themselves. Let's make lesson 1 for these kids, how to love themselves. Some of them may not know how to do that, and it's our job to teach them, to take time, to put up temporary walls to heal. They're still young. Nothing crazy has happened that was outside of your control. And many of us chose to not control our kids because we wanted them to grow up differently from how we grew up. Let's look at this advice from a cat card. At the bottom of the deck is stand up and fight, and we absolutely have got to stand up and fight for these kids. There are times when we all overshare and give away more information than is prudent and wise. Take a lesson from Cat's enigmatic gaze and err on the side of being a little inscrutable and mysterious. The world we live in, it's larger than we may realize, and there are times when we take our safety for granted because we believe we know the people we share time and space with. But how well we know anyone, especially those we communicate with regularly but have never actually met. Is your trust a little blind? Are you mindful at all times, or do you occasionally let loose and behave in a manner or say something controversial or inflammatory that might cause regret? We all have a tale to share. We might also have an audience, but a wise cat does not speak without purpose and never says more than what needs to be said. When a problem arises, a king will not focus on who did what wrong. They will instead focus on finding a solution, knowing that by doing so, they focus on possibilities and potential. They will recognize and appreciate those around them. A king knows the importance of gratitude. A wise king will praise and give thanks for the true wealth in their kingdom and lives, the people who surround them. Yeah, look to the future. You don't have to talk to your babies about all of your personal situations that led you to where you are right now. You don't have to talk to your babies about this stuff, but it's imperative that we fight on a spiritual level to keep these kids grounded, stable, safe, emotionally mature. We're growing them. They are the future. They are the ones that are going to create all of that they're the ones. We're the leaders that are going to nurture and grow that and put them there. 16, 17 on my timer. Is there anything else, Spirit, that we can tell the collective regarding this message about the kids? We're going to teach these children. We are going to teach these children what God really, really is. What love really, really is. We're going to be the ones to teach these kids this stuff. They're the ones that are going to harness consciousness to create the new technology using consciousness. They're going to be the ones putting free energy out into the world. They're the ones. Nine of Wands. We have got to teach them to put up boundaries and barriers around themselves. Teach them to protect themselves. But this is a rose bush. This is easily movable. However, to the person that is not the gardener of the bushes, if they just grab onto it, it hurts like a motherfucker. Plant a garden within these kids. Brings me back to yesterday's video response to my buddy's text message. Yeah, the Two of Cups and the Three of Cups. We have to teach them to put up these barriers and build these boundaries within them, within and around their garden. And that's going to cultivate a much, much deeper relationship so that we as the elders of this generation that is coming up, so that we can work together with them, not against them. I feel like the elders and leaders of this generation now that we grew up in, they didn't want to work with us. And look where it's led. Instead, we put people like FJB, who is deeply in that I'm just seeing a tornado out the window. So, yeah, these kids are going to sweep those old paradigms away. We need to help them establish, in order to 2020 on the clock, 2020, a clear vision. We had to see the darkness firsthand so that we could move into the light. I can see clearly now, the rain is gone. 4 cups at the bottom of the deck. Queen of Swords, King of Wands, 9 of Pentacles. Move these kids out of the densities and stagnancies that is the 3D. Don't let them slip back into the 3D like we did and stay there stuck. Be the strong leader that provides them with the truth at every single moment. No, well, 100% transparency. They have to know. Many of them are very old souls sent here with their own missions. So if they're pushing back, it's from experience, even though you may not see it that way because this child is only 14 years old. You need to take a step back and really recognize that what the kid is saying is truth. Nine of Pentacles. 9 of Wands to the 9 of Pentacles. Look to the future. The only thing that can happen out of this mission is that you've given your children enough pentacles that they can stand on their own 2 feet. You've given them a wealth of abundance of the skills that they need to get through life. Let's face it, if you are emotionally immature, then you are hyper emotional and a little bit psychotic, and you're going to do things like throw staplers at your boss and get suspended for a week with no pay, and it doesn't matter what kind of education you have. If you're exploding and treating people like shit because you don't get your own way, right? So we have to move these kids beyond that. Don't let them get stuck in that density. So this is our side mission for right now. Let's get these kids raised up right. We now, as the chosen, we recognize ourselves as the 144,000. These crystal and rainbow kids that are coming up, it is our mission to keep them emotionally stable and teach them maturity. And that's what I have for you today. I will catch you guys on the next one, and I love you. Bye.